when you're old, you dwell little on the future, for it can't be as important as the past. Tomorrow, I shall be 100 years old. You'd think that at this great age I'd begin to forget the past, but that, of course, is a myth. For most old people, the past becomes more clearer as the future becomes uncertain. I've seen a lot of life. I've loved and lost. I've had friends come and go. I've enjoyed luxuries and known austerity. Like so many of my generation, I am a forgotten character. Time is running out, and soon there'll be no one left to tell that story.
This is a glorious year. In the future, to be able to say I was there in 1914 will not only be an honor, but a privilege. We all know now what has happened to Belgium. Poor little Belgium, crushed unmercifully under an iron boot. We all know now what we are fighting for, and the tyranny for which this enemy stands. Not since Waterloo have we had to defend our right in such a way. It must be our first priority to end war, to make sure we can live in the freedom which we so dearly cherish, not just for now, but for all time. I expect you're asking yourselves, what can I do? How can someone as insignificant as me do anything that is really worthwhile to assist in such a great cause? Well, you can, and you will. All do your duty, both for your king and your country. Every day, in whatever you're expected to do, just ask yourself one thing. Am I doing right? Am I helping Britain? And if you're not, then God help you, because no one else will. Seize the chance. Work hard at school. Work hard at home. And pray for the men who must defend this great nation. Now let us pray. Lord, who knowest all our sins, give us thy strength to do...
Arthur and I had been born into a Britain of society unchanged. Life could be hard and uncompromising, where as a teenager you were expected to know your place and do as you were told. My friend, however, had a lot of trouble with this adult principle of being seen and not heard. He preferred to reinterpret this into a tactical phrase, simply meaning not getting caught. Arthur was an adventurer. He loved life, and he was my best friend. During that hot summer, as we threw stones into the water, neither of us was aware that our world would soon be turned upside down.
Amy?
Arthur Fisher, I'm not talking to you.
Why?
Because
what?
Because Dad says you've got the devil in you.
He doesn't know me. Not well, anyway.
Well, I think you've got the devil in you too.
So you don't want to talk to me now, then?
I didn't say that. Just said what Dad said.
Amy, I want to show you something.
Arthur, I've got to get home, otherwise I'll cop it. So will you.
Come on, it won't take a minute.
What won't?
What I want to show you.
Arthur Fisher, you're talking in riddles. There's no mistaking it.
Come on, Amy, I need you. You see those, Amy?
All I can see is a bandstand.
No, on the bandstand.
What, the posters?
No, the flags. I mean to have one of those, by hook or by crook.
We may be pals, but I'm not staying here to get caught by the likes of your tomfoolery.
I need you, Amy. Keep a lookout. If the coast's not clear, whistle.
One day, Arthur, your luck will run out.
Nice Percival.
Arthur Fisher, that's right. You need your head testing, surely you do.
Oh, but wasn't it great, Amy? What a crack.
What was great, for goodness sake? Nearly getting caught?
No, the moment. And that cat noise, what a great idea. The feeling, it's excitement. I love it.
Sometimes I think you really are balmy. I don't know why I go with you.
Amy, you're a brick, really you are. Look, I've got to go. You've got to go too.
Arthur Fisher! Well...
Blimey, Charlie, I don't know how you get your neck in this state.
Alice!
Oh, all right. I'll leave you to do the other bits and I'll look after the soup.
Blimey, don't drown in there, Charlie.
Hello, Maud, how are you?
I'm just topping, thanks, Arthur. How about yourself?
Fine, thanks. Can't complain, really. Oh, you're back then, Dad? Seem to be getting later every night.
Well, the war makes work, and the work's got to be done.
If I wasn't at school, I'd do it. Or join the army. In fact, that's where I want to be right now. Across the water with a British expeditionary force.
Well, I think you make a really good soldier, Arthur.
Yeah? I think I would too.
Arthur, boy philosopher, reader, dreamer, and likeable rascal, might have gained Maud as a supporter, but it was Stanley Smith who would become his mentor. A chance meeting that morning, all made possible by a forgotten pair of reading glasses. Essential when a new deputy wants to make a good impression.
Ah, Mr. Smith, good morning. I see you're in early. Punctuality is the key to success. Keep it up, sir. Keep it up.
Morning, Mr. Holdings. Oh, blast, I'll never get back in time. Yes, boy, what is it?
Sorry, sir, but I have these.
My spectacles, lad? Where on earth did you find them?
I didn't, sir. Your wife asked me to bring them for you.
My wife? Did she really? Well, that's jolly decent of you. What's your name?
I'm Fisher, sir.
Fisher? Fisher? Oh, then you must be Arthur Fisher, Charles Fisher's elder brother.
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, Fisher, I'm very grateful to you.
That's all right, sir. I was pleased to do it.
Are you a reader, Fisher?
Yes, sir. I love to read.
What sort?
I like adventure stories. I like books about journeys into the unknown. Anything to do with discovery, and a little poetry.
Poetry? My goodness, that's unusual in a boy from this school. I'll tell you what, why don't you recite something for me? Something you like.
What? Now, sir?
Yes, now.
All right. I like this. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward. All in the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply, there's not to reason why. There's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. There's more, sir.
No, that was very good, Fisher. Tennyson, and well versed too. You've restored my faith. I'll tell you what, these are my old books. I've read them all before. Why don't you choose one and take it away? Yours to keep.
Really, sir?
Yes, really.
Thank you very much. Well, look after these. I'll see you later.
Oi! I don't know where you're off to, Arthur Fisher. You'll catch it one day, you see if you don't.
Never, Will, never. I'm like a cat, I can go anywhere.
Oh, I'm sure I saw it.
No, you didn't. It can't have seen
Arthur? We shouldn't do this.
Are you scared?
No more than you. Look, I like seeing you, but...
You shouldn't worry, nobody comes round here.
What did you do with that flag?
I put it on my wall.
In your bedroom?
Yeah, why not?
Look, Arthur, we shouldn't be here like this. It's too dangerous.
Trust me, Amy, nobody can see us. We'll be all right for a few minutes.
Why
right there. Arthur!
Arthur Fisher, come here!
So, Fisher, you've got absolutely nothing to say?
No, sir.
No, sir. All I'm getting is no, sir. You realise, boy, what this silence will mean, don't you?
Yes, sir.
At last. Yes, sir. This term, Fisher, your antics have increased daily, but my patience is decreasing by the minute. So now, am I going to get the name of that other boy? Well, speak up, boy!
No, sir, I don't know who it was.
Back to no, sir. Well, Fisher, you're being very noble, but if you want to live by the sword, so be it. This is not like you, Fisher. So I'll give you 1 hour to come up with a name, or an example will be made. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Get out and face the spot, where I suggest you do some serious thinking.
Arthur. Whoa, you nuts! You mustn't be seen with me.
What happened, Arthur? What did he say?
I've got 1 hour to come up with your name, or I'm for it.
Well, tell him it was me then.
You must be balmy, Will. I never tell on you. Besides, he's really got no idea who it was. Now look, get out of it. Go on, bugger off.
Arthur.
Go.
Rules are made to enable this school, and indeed this very nation, to function properly. They exist to help you in your daily quest for knowledge. Men have given their very lives to uphold such values. This boy, even in his final term, has chosen to break those rules. However, not content with breaking school rules, this boy decides also to engage in a foul and profane expression of lust with this young madam. Amy Thompson, stand up. How you must fight temptation. It is a battle. Oh yes, it is a battle, just like this war. The result of all sin is retribution. For if the rules are broken, then a debt must be paid. Therefore, to assist you all in your search for guidance, an example will be made. Fisher, you will report to Mr. Smith, who is waiting next door. 6 strokes of the cane for breaking school rules, and 6 for the Empire. Off you go, now.
No, Fisher. Just leave it open. Well, Fisher, here we are. I want you to know one thing, young Fisher. You broke the rules and that's unacceptable. Yes? But for a kiss, this gives me no satisfaction whatsoever. Now, I'm expected to do my duty. There's not to reason why, lad.
Mr. Smith, you're pulling the cane, sir. Remember the adage? Spare the rod. Now start again, for the boy's sake.
All right, you can get up, Fisher. It's over now. In the past. You're free to go. Oh, and Fisher.
Sir?
We won't have to do this again, will we?
No, sir. We won't. Good.
Because we were pals, I let Arthur bully me into taking a note to the fair Miss Thompson. He'd stuck his neck out for me, and I owed him this at least. Trouble was, Amy's father got too close for comfort, and the mission had to be aborted. Other than the physical pain, his pride was wounded too. And that evening he was tetchy, especially with me having returned to headquarters a failed emissary.
What's the matter with you, Arthur? I don't have to take this bloody crap.
Maybe you're the matter, Will.
Me? Oh, I don't understand you tonight. I think you really have gone balmy.
Look, Will, just bugger off, all right? You're really getting on my nerves.
Oh, am I now? You got Fanny on your nerves, boy. I mean, look at you lying there in a bloody temper. Go on, look at yourself. It ain't a pretty sight.
Yeah, we don't have to look. Go on, I told you what you could do. Just sod off.
If that's the way you want it. I don't have to hang around here. Not for a mate like you.
Please yourself.
Sometimes, Arthur Fisher, you can be such a big-headed little bastard. But you're nothing. You're just a nobody, like the rest of us.
Yeah, at least you know yourself now, don't you? Go on, get out of my bloody sight. Go on, fuck off!
What have I done to make you such a bloody little sod?
I thought you'd gone. Well, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean what I said. I've been an absolute pig. Don't know what got into me. Will?
What did you have to take it out on me for? I've never tried to make a problem for you.
No, come on, sock me. Sock me right here, I deserve it.
You told me to F off, you little bastard.
I'm sorry, really. Slip of the tongue. Come on, sock me.
Nah, you've suffered enough pain for one day.
Tell you what.
What?
Start again.
Tell me why I should.
Because we're pals, aren't we, Will?
Yeah, all right. Pals, Arthur. But don't tell me to fuck off again, all right?
All right.
Come on, then. Go on, lads.
I've seen a sheep.
Hello, young Arthur. What can I do for you if I couldn't get...
Is Wilfred about, Mr. Brown?
He'll be out there gallivanting, I expect. Hang on, I'll give him a shout.
Wilfred, I want it out here.
All right, I'm coming.
How's your father, Arthur?
Oh, he's fine, thanks. Little touch of the quinsy, I think.
Has he now? You tell him to come and see me. I've got some fine ale that'll sort that out. Lines your throat like only it does.
Oh, hello, Arthur. Sorry, I was at the back.
Have you finished out there, Wilfred?
Yes, Dad, of course I have.
Well, we'll see about that. You skipped off yesterday without finishing, and your mother said you skipped off the day before. Now, if you've got a job to do, you do it. Understand?
Yes, Dad.
Shifting a few empties and moving a few barrels isn't hard work. If you skip off again, you'll be over a barrel. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Dad, very clear.
Right, you two. Off you go. Don't get in any mischief.
We never would. Bye, Dad.
Bye, Mr. Brown.
Bye, lad. And oh, don't forget to tell your dad what I said.
All right, bye.
You're bang on time. Old Hargreaves would love you.
No, he doesn't love me. He hates me.
Mr. Hargreaves, why should he hate you, Arthur?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I do want to know. What have you been up to, little brother?
There you go again, Alice.
Romeo! Romeo! Wherefore art thou, Romeo? What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
Shut up or I'll biff you.
Who are you then? Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson? No, Frank Moran.
Oh, Frank Moran, eh? Now, Jimmy Wilde. There's a boxer. My old man says Jimmy Wilde will beat Moran and Johnson put together.
Blimey, it's like a music hall. One of you comedians please tell me what the devil you're talking about?
Come on, Arthur. It doesn't matter anymore now, does it?
You seem to be letting rip a right, Wilfred. You tell her. If Dad finds out, I'll get a second dose.
Come on, Will, out with it, for goodness sake.
Well, little brother here stole a kiss.
A kiss? A kiss?
From the fair lips of a certain Miss Amy Thompson.
Arthur, well, I declare, criminal offence, no less.
Especially when it happens in the girls' playground and in front of the headmaster. Eaten of the forbidden fruit. Without shame. An example must be made. We got the whole rigmarole.
Arthur Fisher serves you right. Did it?
Yeah, what do you think?
A full broadside, no less.
Well, look, don't tell Dad. It's not fair.
Oh, Arthur, you should know Dad better than that. He wouldn't judge you badly, and that is a fact.
School days were quickly left behind, and the war raged on. I took up working with my father, and Arthur with his. Amy became one of the pals, inseparable from her Sir Galahad. I'm going to make a change, she would say, and stop acting the goat. But don't change too much, came the reply. This can't be Amy talking. But it was. For now she believed in him. And as our world turned, we all became giddy. The future lay ahead. This war, it was exciting, but for now it could wait. For a little while, at least. Two's company and three's a crowd. But it was never like that with us. We all had time for each other. We were the best of friends. You had to do things in a certain way, though. It was expected of you. Girls were girls, and boys were boys, and ne'er the twain shall meet. Until you were 21, that is. Arthur had already sampled what stepping over the boundary would bring. It didn't stop him, though. He was a boy for tomorrow, and what the eye didn't see was still his guiding principle. We were the best of mates, all for one, and ready for the future together, whatever that would bring.
Oh, we talked about it now, Will. Why wait any longer? That's what I say. You got a coin?
Yeah.
Go on, then.
Well?
Heads we go.
Heads it is.
Well, that's it. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Why don't we keep this? It could be our lucky coin. You never know, we might need something to make our decisions for us. There you go, mate. Oh, that's torn it. Now our luck will run out, you maggot.
Oh, maggot, is it? I'll give you maggot, Wilfie.
Don't call me Wilfie, you maggot.
Amy, what do you do when something's tearing you apart? Pulling at your very soul deep inside. It's like hundreds of people in a crowd calling my name and asking me where I am and what am I gonna do. And I can't ignore it. I can't explain it. But I know I have to go. I have to go and join the army. I'll go nuts if I don't. Don't ever think I don't care for you, because I do very much. We've been pals for a long time now. Pals. It's silly to call us pals now, isn't it? And Will and I are pals. You and me. We're more than pals. We're lovers.
Do you really mean that, Arthur? Do you know what you're saying?
Listen, Amy. I know what I'm saying. Hello, Mr. Roberts.
Hello, young Arthur. What are you up to?
Well, I want to know, may I drill a hole in this?
Blast, lad. You're not supposed to do things like that. Whatever for?
This one's special. I'll be careful not to deface the king's head.
Seems like the waste of a perfectly good penny to me. But I'm sure you know what you're doing. Drills on the bench, bits from the black box. Mind how you go now.
Thanks, Mr. Roberts.
Don't start drilling shillings, mind, otherwise people will think you're going potty.
A penny for luck and a penny for his thoughts. Arthur became excited at the prospects ahead. Amy might get used to the idea, but his father was already plagued by sickness and more dependent on his son than ever. He'd be hard to convince. Preparation was everything if Arthur was going to succeed.
Ready? Ready. Let's go then.
In years to come, people would find it hard to understand how simple we were. But the war became the greatest thing we'd ever known. Everybody and everything was wrapped up in this conflict, although the reality was still really little known by the man in the street. Perhaps we didn't want to know, other than the fact that to us it was exciting, heroic, and adventurous. In our lifetime, we had been given the chance to stand up for what we believed and do something positive about it. And that was just what we were going to do. I had no trouble in convincing the recruiting staff that I had recently turned 18. But for Arthur, he had a much more difficult time in persuading the powers that be. He still looked quite young, and with their officer present, it seemed that they would be unable to take him. Things didn't go well for him at all. After a great deal of deliberation and pleading, he was finally rejected. A rejection of this sort meant failure, and failure was something Arthur hated most. If it hadn't been for the old recruiting sergeant who told him to come back on Monday when the officer wasn't there, all might have been lost.
Sorry, look what you're doing, you silly sod.
I know what I'm doing. I like them well done.
You're going to have to eat it, that's all I say.
You'll get in, you know.
Why so sure?
Well, it stands to reason, doesn't it? I mean, why would they ask you to come back if it wasn't for a reason?
Let's hope you're right. It's not in the bag yet, is it?
Guess what, Alice?
What, Charlie?
Will's joined the army.
Blow me, Arthur. If your brother's not one hell of a blabbermouth.
Charlie, why can't you keep your trap shut sometimes?
Sorry, Will. No one said it was a secret or anything.
It's not, but...
Maybe it's better that some people don't know.
Look, Alice, if there was something to tell you, you know I would have.
Is there anything to tell me?
Well, yes, and no, and... yeah.
I see. Quite simple to understand, then.
All right. Will and I tried to join up today. Will got in and I didn't. That's it.
Really? It's a big step you're both taking. Why so quickly? You don't have to join up yet. You're both underage anyway.
Age again? What's that got to do with it? We're good enough to fight, and we want to go and fight for our country. They need people like us.
Yeah, and we want to go before it's too late. But everybody's got to help finish this war.
What's your dad think about it, Will, now you're in the army? Listen, lads, I'm not against you. I'm for you. I know you want to go and fight for old England. What young man wouldn't want to go? But Dad's going to be very concerned, Arthur. And I think you know why.
I'm not in the army yet, Alice.
Nah, but you will be on Monday, though, won't you?
Yeah, if I get in on Monday. Then I'll speak to Dad.
You won't stand for it, you know that, don't you? He'll never agree.
Why? I'm not doing anything any other bloke wouldn't do.
You're his son, Arthur. And you know he's going to think you're too young. Maybe you are too young.
Too young? Too young? Why is it always too young? Can't you understand me? I'm not a child anymore. You treat me like I'm still at school.
I didn't mean to cause any trouble.
There's no trouble, Charlie. You and Will had better eat those crumpets.
On the one hand, the war promoted duty and patriotism, and on the other, caution and doubt. But everybody was rallying together in a kind of unstoppable fever. Who could deny a young man the chance to fight for his country? And with that in mind, Arthur was once again in attendance at the recruiting centre. As I waited outside, the one obstacle in his path was being swept away inside, and his induction into the army had begun.
And that I will, as in duty bound, honestly and faithfully defend His Majesty, his heirs and successors, in person, crown and dignity, against all enemies, and will observe and obey all orders of His Majesty, his heirs and successors, and of the generals and the officers set over me. So help me God.
Well, there's no stopping it. Taking the king's shilling, he says. In the army. In the bloody army. Arthur, you must be stark raving mad.
But why, Dad?
Why? Why? Because there's a good chance you could end up getting yourself killed. That's why. The worst thing is you don't even have to go.
Yeah, but I want to go. I do have to go. I can't let down my friend now anyway. I never meant to upset you. This is something I've got to do for myself.
Well, sure or not, Arthur, there's no stopping it now, and that's for certain.
Please try to understand, will you?
You've been foolhardy. It's made me angry. I should have seen this coming. When I look at you, it's hard for me not to see you a little boy anymore. Suddenly you've grown up, left school, and you're standing there next to me. And you've always got that damn look of mischief in your eye.
Just don't know what to say.
Best you don't say anything then. We've both said enough. For now.
Well,
you're right.
of course I'll write.
Every week?
Every day if I can.
Well, if you can, I will too.
I'll miss you, Amy, very much.
I know, me too. Just come back soon.
You do understand why we have to go, don't you? We're not just doing this for a lark.
I saw the paper yesterday. The story about Nurse Cavell. The Germans have shot her. Just for helping British soldiers escape. I thought about it. I think about you. I think to myself, why does Arthur want to go and leave me? But I know I'm just being selfish. Well, if Edith Cavell, just a nurse, was prepared to face a firing squad for what she believed in, well, then I believe this war has to be won. And now you feel you've got to go too. So you go, Arthur, with my blessing. Just please come back safe, that's all I ask.
I'll come back, Amy. I'll come back. You've got to believe that.
Hold me, Arthur, so I won't forget.
Neither of us can forget. We can't be parted forever. And what bloke in his right mind would be parted for long from a girl like you? Arthur! Come on.
Right, you two. There's some food in here for the journey. Make sure you eat it. I don't want you arriving half-starved. There's some tonic and other bits and pieces in there as well. You might need them. Take care of yourself, little brother. Let me know how you're getting on. Promise?
I will. Promise. Take care, Charlie. Look after your big sister.
Well, I haven't missed it. Pleased about that. We may not have seen eye to eye on this, but what will be will be. If you do your best, you'll get on fine. Nobody need ask for more. Take care, son.
I will. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for everything.
Right, you better be on your way, both of you. You look after yourself too, Will. Let's see you both back here soon.
Thanks, Mr. Fisher. We'll be back before you know it. Don't worry, I'll look after him.
Aye, and who'll look after you?
I think we'd both better look after each other, eh, Will?
That's for sure.
Paradise Street, having a laugh, aren't they?
The idea, I think.
Dear Amy, it seems funny writing to you from France, and I miss you very much. Although we knew we were coming, it's strange here. Not quite like we thought it would be. As I write, Will's settling down next to me to get some sleep before going on sentry duty. There's not much doing at the moment, and the enemy aren't too busy firing at us. They told us the last lads here had a bumpy old time, but perhaps we'll be lucky. If you can send anything, I could really do with some new socks, thick ones if possible. Goodness knows when we'll get any leave. I can't wait to see you again, but don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. Who knows? Lad or not, one day I might get made up to sergeant or something.
Wake up! Wake up, Brown! Wake up! What the bloody hell do you think you're doing, laddie? Have you gone off your bloody rocker?
Sorry, Sarge, I just dozed off.
Just dozed off? You don't just fucking doze off, laddie. Not in this man's army. Because you're putting all your pals' lives in danger. Whilst you're having a wee nap, an enemy raiding party could have slipped in and be slitting your pals' throats by now, but maybe you don't give a shite about that.
Sorry, Sarge, it won't happen again, I'm sorry.
Ah, well, it might be a wee bit too late for that. You know the penalty for falling asleep whilst on sentry duty, don't you, Private Brown?
Court-martial, Sarge.
Aye. A court-martial, laddie. Well, I dinna have to tell you, 'cause you're well aware of that, aren't you, Brown?
Sarge?
What age are you, Brown?
18 and a half, Sarge.
18? 18 and a half? My ears. No 18. Now, I doubt you'll be falling asleep again whilst on sentry duty.
No way, Sergeant.
Take a swing over this. Go on a wee bit more, it won't hurt you. No, young man. In the future, you'll be absolutely alert when you're on sentry duty, right?
Sergeant.
Because if I catch you fucking sleeping again, you'll no need to worry about a bullet from a fucking enemy. Because I'll fucking shoot you myself. And then you'll sleep forever. Is that clear, young Brune?
Sir, Sergeant.
Keep your big mouth shut and carry on with your work.
It might have been my father talking, without the blows, of course. Underneath it all, Sergeant Reed seemed to care. Perhaps my dad did too, but it never showed in the same way. It was up to me now and Arthur to make men of ourselves for all to see.
Blimey, this is going on. When will it stop? When will this bloody stop? It's been over 2 hours now. Soon. Can't go on much longer.
Yeah, lads, here's a new one. I left old boy along with my pals, strong and not faint-hearted, and clear from the gals. Here across the water.
Where's O'Rourke then? He knows we've got an inspection.
I haven't seen him for ages. You know what he's like anyway.
There you go, Will.
Ah, thanks, brother. There, looks better back here without any mud in it. Cleaned your rifle then? Corporal wants an inspection at 2.
Yeah, finished ages ago.
Want me to check it?
What? Don't you trust me? Spotless, I can tell you.
Show me that rifle, General.
Blimey, Will, give me a break.
Yeah, it'll pass.
Of course it'll pass, you nut. I'm gonna get a letter off to Amy now. Shut up and leave me alone, Wilfie.
Brilliant. When are you going to hand it in for posting? Take that one too, please.
Crikey, Will, who are you writing to?
Well, strange as it may sound, the old man.
Your dad.
That's what I said, didn't I? I'm going to bloody well dream about him. We'll just as well send a letter back there and all.
My dearest Amy. Just a letter to let you know I'm in the pink, and Will is too. We're getting on just fine here, but we could all do with a bit more grub. We seem to have to do a lot on a little, if you know what I mean.
Amy! Amy! Look!
Dad says you've all seen a Zeppelin. That must have been something. I've seen quite a few aeroplanes around here. Our gunners always fire at them, but I haven't seen any brought down yet. Our captain seems very pleased with the way we've performed during our spell at the front line, but I'm sometimes unsure about myself. Perhaps I'm not the hero you think I am. I think Will is much stronger than me, really. He's a great friend. The best a bloke could want in a place like this. Oh, by the by, I got the socks. Thank you very much indeed. And I've given one pair to Will. Also, the chocolate was a real treat. I am lucky that everyone thinks about me out here. Well, there are things I've got to go and do, so I'll close now.
The shallowest thick-skinned of barren sort, who Pyramus presented in their sport, forsook his scene and on treading a break, when I did him at his advantage take, and ass's null I fixed head on his head, anon his Thisbe be answered, and forth my mimic comes when they him spy, the wild geese of the creeping fowler eye, or russet-painted chops, many in swords, rising and cawing at the gun's report,
sever themselves and madly sweep the skies. And so, at a sight, away his fellows fly.
Oh, Jill, that was awfully grand. Lads, you're going out to the doing an act. What, with you, Sarge? Aye, with me.
We would never forget that night on the tomb with Sergeant Reed. It amused him, I think, that his lads would be deflowered in such a way, far from the rigid morals of British life. They needed this lesson, and he intended that they'd get it.
What's the crack? What? What?
What do you mean, what?
Blimey, I'm not that stupid, are you, George? What?
What?
There, now you can really relax.
Tell me, what is this blow me you English always say?
Well, it's kind of expression. Like blimey or blast.
Blimey?
Yeah, blimey. Blow me. Sacre bleu.
Really, your skin is so smooth.
Is it? Well, I suppose it is.
I can teach you lots of things you don't already know yet.
Oops.
Oh dear, never mind, I'll get it.
Fisher, you're wanted. Follow me.
Tomorrow, 1900 hours. Grid reference 314897. I'll be there. Very good, sir.
Sir.
Can you get this to Captain Reynolds' dugout?
Yes, sir.
Good man. I'll go like the wind. Oh, and Fisher, keep your head down.
Well, I've got to take a message to HQ. Good luck, brother.
Don't worry, Will. He'll be back.
message, sir, from Lieutenant Jameson.
Go on, lad. Medic, in here, now.
Oh, you're back with us then. You missed the best part, luckily.
How? What happened?
Well, when they got you back here, you took one look at this place, and then me, and then you passed out. And you have that effect on a lot of people.
Sorry about that, sir.
Don't be sorry. It's a fair chunk of bosh shell I took out of your arm. Sort of cut across it like a knife. Yours, if you want it. You might feel all right now. It's going to hurt a lot later as the bruising swells up. We'll have to watch for infection. So I'm sending you back to the base hospital.
Is it that bad, sir?
Not that bad, but you're going anyway.
Dearest Amy, I got your letter and the photo. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of an accident while taking a message for our lieutenant. It's not so serious, so don't worry. But I've left Paradise Street for a while. That's what we call our dugout. I always tried to be careful, Amy. You must understand that. Because a bloke has to be careful here, he doesn't get popped off. A bit of shrapnel caught me in the arm. Well, I suppose I'm lucky in some ways, because Will's still in the firing line for a few more days. I hope I can get to see him, because I bet he's really worried about me. I wish I could get home so we can have some leave together. I'll have to close now, but I'll write again soon.
Where the bloody hell have you been?
Well, let's just say I lost my way and got held up a bit. What's it matter to you anyway, Wilfie?
Doesn't. Come here, you little sod.
Oh, Sham.
Oh, sorry, mate. God, who's the hero then, Arthur? Really missed you, brother.
Yeah, I missed you too, Will.
Tell you, well, you got that coin round your neck, you'd always come skulking back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I expect you're right.
Come on, come sit down.
Haven't you blokes got Jerry on the run yet?
You haven't missed any action, Arthur. This sector is as quiet as a chapel. We're beginning to think that Fritz is packed up and shipped off without our help.
What's the base hospital like, Arthur? Better you don't want to know, George. It's nothing special. Show us a shrapnel wound, then.
Oh, blimey, George. Morbid or what? I thought you'd seen enough of all that. Besides, you'd only faint.
Dear Dad, just a letter to tell you I'm fine now, and I've seen Will again. We had some very bad luck this week. Our lieutenant was killed. It was a quiet day, really, but a stray shell caught him that landed in the trench. He was a good man and a fine officer. Most of the fellows here liked him a lot. We buried him nearby in a nice little corner with the rest of our chaps. My arm is much better now, but a little tender to touch. This life would not suit me permanently, and I know I'd not make a career out of the army. But there is good news, I'm glad to say. The whole company's being stood down. Nobody knows why. You never know what the crack is here. There's to be block leave for our platoon. So tell Alice and Charlie I may be back in Blighty very soon. I can tell you, the rats and the mice won't half get hungry if we're not here. And I dream of a few days at home. We're very lucky. Some of the fellows in other regiments haven't had leave for months. Tell Charlie he's got to look after his big brother, or maybe I'll forget something. Well, I hope you're in good spirits and feeling a little better. Cheerio for now, and see you very soon. Your loving son, Arthur.
Nothing really changes, does it? You go away, you experience things you thought never possible, yet when you return, as we did on that drizzle-filled day, everything remains the same. It's as if you'd never been away. And what happened to you never really happened at all. A dream, perhaps, just a moment in time. Arthur longed to see Amy again, and even I, with my father and me having buried the hatchet, was looking forward to a few days at home. We were tired and hungry from travelling and needed to make as much as possible out of this rare opportunity to be at home. Smiling faces greeted us, excited and eager to hear our reluctant stories. And Arthur and Amy were once more reunited.
Thank you, Arthur. Thank you very much. It's the best thing anyone's ever given me.
That's all right, Charlie. Don't wear it to school, though. Mr. Smith will have a fit.
Oh, no. Mr. Smith left a long time ago to join up. It's Mr. Hargreaves now, and a new lady. But she's not at all as nice as Mr. Smith was.
Nice to have him back here, Reg. He's a good lad, your Arthur.
Nice to have him back safe, more like.
Aye, well, I might be an old stick in the mud, but I cannot say I wasn't happy to see Will marching in here. In fact, I was right proud of him. Chip off the old block he is. Here he is, the man of the moment. Make sure you've got plenty of ale in front of you, lads. I want to hear all about the goings on in France.
Not much to tell, Dad. It's all rather boring, really.
Come off it. I bet you've got loads of tales to tell. I bet you're having a whale of a time out there, if the truth be known.
The truth? You've no idea, have you? What do you think we're all doing out there, playing bloody football or something? It's not an adventure. It's not exciting. Men are getting killed every day all around you. You don't understand. The place is like a slaughterhouse. Except the animals are us.
Come on, Arthur, don't talk about that now. We're home. Come on. Look at me, Arthur. Arthur. Take your glass. Let's make a toast. To us. To all of us. The country. And the end of this damn war. The King.
The King.
Do you want to be a nurse then?
I'd like that. A nurse.
Amy. I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, why not?
Because you see some pretty terrible things.
I could get used to that.
You never get used to it. I don't think you're cut out for it, really. You're just too nice.
Arthur, I'm surprised. Thought you'd be glad I wanted to do something in this war.
I am glad you want to do something. But being a nurse will mean you have to deal with some pretty disgusting wounds at the front. Some of these fellows are just... I know it's not for you.
Well, tell me, Arthur. Tell me what I might expect. I need to know.
Blimey, Amy, I'm trying to forget the war for just a little while. I've already upset Dad and Mr. Brown with it. Oh, it's hopeless. I just sometimes don't know what to do. I worry about us. What happens if I get popped off? It's almost as though time's not on our side anymore. I love you too much.
I'll always be here for you. Look at you. The boy that says he's not brave. But you're the bravest boy I know. And I love you so much. A part of us will survive this war. Because, well, there has to be a tomorrow. And I want it to be with you.
Stand up, gentlemen. Attention! This is your new officer, Lieutenant Smith, and he wants to have a wee word with you.
All right, men, at ease. I know most of you are veterans here, which makes me the new boy, I suppose. I'm not going to try and fill Lieutenant Jameson's shoes. I run my own show, and if you support me, I'll certainly support you. We've all got a job to do, and I know this regiment's one of the finest fighting units on the front. Well, there are other chaps to speak to, so carry on, men.
Attention. O'Reilly.
Blimey, mate, I don't believe this. I just don't believe it.
Well, Charlie said he'd gone and joined up. He must have joined the local regiment like us.
And being well educated, he could take a commission.
Do you blokes know the new officer then?
Yeah, he used to be a teacher in our school.
He should have stayed in school. The pupils here passed our test months ago. They won't want to take a skinning from him.
Funny you should say that. Actually, he's a good bloke. He'd be no problem in a scrape, if you want my opinion.
That's good to know. Hey, George, you better behave yourself, or the new officer will put you across his knee.
Put a sock in it, Jimmy. Thought you were supposed to be making the bloody tea.
Dearest Arthur, I'm writing to tell you that Dad has been taken ill. I think we've all known for some time now that things haven't been 100% with his chest. Amy is very kindly helping out, looking after Charlie and that. Well, dear brother, like I say, don't you worry, because everything's being done that can be. I hope that you're well. You're always in our prayers. Your loving sister, Alice.
All right, men, at ease. Right. Wilkins, Brown, Neville, Fisher. Wire repair duty. Plenty of spare wire and stakes at the ready?
Outside, sir.
Splendid. Right, well, when we get out there later, let's keep it as quiet as we can. We don't want to wake up Jerry while he's having a good night's kip, do we? Our mortars can do that first thing in the morning.
Get out of here! The boat's gonna go!
Come on, Mrs. Smith, we've got to get out of here. He said so, we've got to get out.
Alex, you just get yourself out of here before the whole roof comes down.
I'm not leaving you here to die, sir.
Do what you're told, Fisher. That's an order.
Or a visit to the headmaster. I'm not leaving you here. You'll be buried alive.
Bloody legs broken.
Fisher, Brown.
Afternoon, sir.
At ease. Well, sit yourself down, lads.
Well, it looks like this is your ticket back, sir.
Yeah, I'd say you've probably got a blighty wound there, sir.
Yes, I suppose I have. Well, I can never repay you, Fisher. And you, Brown. You saved my life. If I could put the clock back, you know I would, don't you?
I know that, sir.
Well, sit yourself down, Brown. Tell me about the platoon.
Oh, okay, sir. It's a bit quiet at the moment, but we're getting along fine.
You all right there, lads? Just had a chance to grab some mail. Let's have a look. Private Fisher, there you go. See you later.
Cheers, Robbie. That's from Alice.
My dearest brother, this is a letter that I never wanted to have to write.
Oh, God.
What's the matter, mate?
have to tell you that Dad has passed away. I know that things seemed all right with him, but he felt awfully sick very quickly. He asked me to tell you that never could a man have wished for a more wonderful son than you. He was so proud and spoke your name to the very end. He loved you very much, Arthur, and he died happy in the knowledge that you would know this. Both myself and Charlie are coping, and Amy visits constantly, so it really is important that you don't worry about us. You'll be home again soon, I'm sure. If you need someone, Arthur, lean on Will. You shouldn't be ashamed if you need a friend just now. He'll understand. All our love goes to you.
Be brave, old chap. All the best, Alice.
Everything's well. It never said. No, I never can. I was so bloody keen to get out here. He knew that, Arthur. All those things, he knew. It's a sense that parents have. You should never blame yourself, Arthur. He'd never want you to do that. Just been so selfish. Not only to Dad, but to Charlie and Alice too. Like he said. I didn't have to be here right now. Good's their brother to the now.
Tuberculosis had finally taken his father, and that day in the reserve trench was Arthur's darkest. A feeling of helplessness overcame him, and the usual constant fear of shell and gunfire was set aside as he tried to deal with his conscience and the grief he felt for the loss of his father. I did what I could to fulfill Alice's wish and become a brother confessor for him.
Arthur back again? You can't seem to keep away.
We just came in to see Mr. Smith.
He's a very lucky man. He'll not be staying here much longer.
On our last visit to see Mr. Smith, before he was shipped off back to England, Arthur decided to mark the occasion, and I now duly became custodian of our lucky charm. All's well that ends well, so the saying goes.
Miss A. Fisher. Madam. I regret to have to report
the death of your brother. 8045 Private A.C. Fisher, who was killed in action on the 18th of September by machine gun fire.
We'll all miss him, Will. I couldn't feel more sorry. He was a cracking bloke.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Jimmy.
O'D in the grass. Queer shook on Harananum.
What's that mean, Jimmy?
Oh, God of mercy. With peace in his soul.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the waste of death would spring the creation of life. For within Amy and unknown to them both, the marvel of rebirth was about to begin. I too was beside myself with grief at the death of my friend. But grief was a luxury one could not afford to indulge in whilst serving at the front. Men were dying all around you, and to most, Arthur was just another young soldier who had met an untimely end. To me, however, he was still the boy I grew up with, my greatest friend. And now the bond between us was severed forever, and I was desperately alone. I became acutely aware of the incessant shell and gunfire, and without my friend, my nerves were beginning to shatter. Ironic, really, as it was assumed I had always been the stronger one. And so, as luck would have it, I collected a blighty wound and my ticket home.
Listen, all of you. I know we've all been feeling pretty low lately, and it's going to be a while before we can get back on top again. In fact, I think we realise in our hearts that nothing can ever be quite the same. But it's not just us. Many, many people all over the country are in the same situation. But we have each other, and our memories, and they can never be taken away. All our problems now are like bridges in the distance. And if we stick together and cross them together, then we'll never fail, and we'll never be alone.
In that moment, Alice spoke her mind, and in future years she became the rock on which our new lives would be built. We would live together as a fragmented family, as many families would have to, touched by tragedy, but willing to soldier on for the sake of their future. We all had to come to terms with our losses. Everybody did. The war had changed everything in our country forever. Those years that Arthur and I had grown up in will be consigned to history. They'd simply be a memory to be recalled in later years like an old, loved picture that's been mislaid and then found again. The birth of Arthur's boy brought great joy and began to tighten the bond between us. Amy and I would watch him grow, and he was to be his father's son in so many ways. For myself, the memory of my best friend only grew stronger, and the dreams continued. Would I ever be free from this feeling that reduced me to tears at the drop of a hat? On the 11th of November, 1918, all action stopped, and with the armistice signed, the Great War came to an end. As time went by, I managed to get word of the others. George, our entertainer, and Wilkins both sailed for America, where George joined the vaudeville, and Wilkins became a cabinet maker in Brooklyn. Sergeant Hamish Reed survived the war and returned to his native Glasgow to work in the shipyard. He married and had 2 children, but his fondness for a weed run, coupled with memories of the war, turned him into an alcoholic. He was to die in the winter of 1928, diagnosed as suffering from chronic cirrhosis of the liver. Jimmy O'Rourke would write to me from time to time, and in his letters would be brave enough to remember the better days that he, Arthur, and I spent together. He'll be back, he once told me. But Jimmy himself didn't come back. He was killed in the waterlogged battlefield of Passchendaele in July 1917. He, like the others, will be fondly remembered by us each November. Former Second Lieutenant Stanley Smith returned to teaching. When Mr. Hargreaves retired, he took over as headmaster and brought a new philosophy to the skill of educating at Pitfield Street School. We gave the boy his father's name, Arthur, something Amy especially wanted. We grew closer, as did all those who were left. We didn't forget, though. The memories would never die, and the reconciliation would take time.
This is something I know your dad would have wanted you to have. Now you keep it very safe and you never lose it. Understand?
Of course I will, I promise.
Good. Now one day, when we've got plenty of time, I'm going to tell you all about it.
There were many who called us the lost generation. Well, maybe we were, but if we had lost our way, the time would come when, as Alice so bravely put it, we would have to cross those bridges and put our lives back together again. There were thousands like us who would try to do the same. Some would succeed and some would fail. But there was hope now, and in our hearts we knew we would stick together, not only for ourselves, but for tomorrow, and for the memory of our lost friends. They're all gone now, and I'm all that's left. Arthur still survives too, but in name only, carved deeply on a grand stone memorial, gazed at by curious visitors and climbed on by small children. I often imagine people mouthing his name and wondering who he was. He does live, though. Oh, yes, I'm sure of that. Sure that as I'm here now, you'll be there tomorrow. I feel more certain of that every day that goes by. And when the days are no more, we'll walk together again, as pals, just like we did then. Only this time, it will be forever.